Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
Caroline, you should tell them about the newest thing that Bloody Happy Hour is doing.
A Patreon.
It's a Patreon. What is that?
That means you're basically like a VIP member, and there's 2 different levels that you can, subscribe to, and you get some perks. You maybe get like merch a little earlier. You get
exclusive merch.
You could get first dibs on signing up for a live show. You get episodes with no commercials.
You get our video because our video is no longer available on YouTube. It is only on Patreon. And the most important to me is you get videos of our live shows. So if you are far away and you couldn't make our last live show, it will be on the website. We're going to record this future live show. It's going to be on Patreon, but also bonus episodes each month. You guys tell us all the time you want more episodes. This is a way for you to get more episodes. So you're going to get our basic Tuesday, Thursdays that we always put out, right? But if you're on a Patreon, you're VIP, you're going to get more.
I can't wait to talk about in detail some more stories because I always have a lot of details I want to go to. I can law-splain. I might read a book.
They just unsubscribed. This is also going to be the exclusive place that Dirty Chat is going to go to. So if that is breaking some of your hearts, just go ahead and subscribe now. In order to hear the full content, it's going to be Patreon. Where do they go again?
Patreon.com/BloodyHappyHour.
Don't forget to
stay aware,
stay alive,
and always be DTF.
This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey y'all, I'm April.
And I'm Caroline.
And this
is your Bloody Happy Hour.
Caroline, are you ready for this?
This is your newest guilty pleasure.
It's the bloodiest part of your week.
Did we say something about it also being happy hour?
Show did.
Because we about to be sipping on some murder. Bloody Happy Hour.
Hey y'all, this is April.
This is Caroline.
This is your Bloody Happy Hour.
And
it's gonna be semi-bloody today.
how bloody are we going?
I mean, it's gonna be kind of bloody. It's gonna just be a little bit more
It's like
ridiculous,
squirting
gross.
blood, or like just like slow drip.
Probably some squirting.
Okay,
Yeah, there's gonna be some squirting.
we do a lot of squirting.
It's
right
pretty
now.
ridiculous.
Mhm.
And I got me some rum to get through it. What are you drinking on?
I think that's a Topo.
Topo Chico.
A Topo.
So, as promised, we are going to Canada for this full episode. And if I say 2 names, close your mouth. If I say 2 names, will you know who I'm talking about? Karla, Homulka, and Paul Bernardo.
Ken and Barbie?
You just cheated. Hey,
No, I didn't look at that. I knew yeah.
Ken and Barbie. So
I didn't realize they're Canada.
I didn't either. And I hadn't heard this in a long time.
Yeah.
Shout out to listener Kiera. She texted a while back and she was like, you and Caroline need to watch this documentary.
I know.
I forgot what it was even on.
Oh, I don't know, but I watched it a while ago, or unless it was like on the ID channel or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I've heard podcasts about them.
Yeah, I think I've heard a couple podcasts. I didn't get to watch all the documentary, but let's talk about the Ken and Barbie killers, which they really look like Ken and Barbie. So this one's a tough one. There's a lot of trigger. So just take a drink when you're ready. There's a lot of rape, and
more rape.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's meet Karla Homulka first. She was born in Canada in 1970. She was pretty. She was popular. She loved animals. She worked at a pet store and then later on a veterinarian's office and heard she had a dream of becoming a veterinarian. And
she sounds bubbly.
Pretty normal. Now, her dad was a mean drunk, but he wasn't necessarily as mean to her, kind of more mean to the mom. But the only thing that really stuck out about her childhood was that her dad cheated on her mom when she was younger. And mom, instead of like being pissed and like leaving or divorcing or getting even, she actually calls the side piece over and they have a threesome.
Wow. Well, you know what? If you can't beat them, join them.
So maybe this molded Karla's future endeavors. We're not sure. But after that, they did have somewhat of a rocky relationship. Now, Paul Bernardo, he was a little bit older. He was born in 1964 in Scarborough, Ontario.
Scarborough Fair.
And his childhood was pretty shitty. His dad was a known molester and a convicted pedophile because he sexually assaulted Paul's littlest sister.
You know,
He verbally and physically abused the entire family, but especially the mom. And he suffered from, the mom suffered from depression, obviously, because she's being ridiculed every single day.
And yelling all the things.
She would often withdraw or leave for long periods of time, so leave the kids with this crazy daddy. But Paul was described like as pretty well adjusted. Like he was well mannered. He was calm tempered. He was a decent, good looking, like well-rounded kid, considering like where he came from.
Yeah.
Until
no.
he turned 16 and he found out, see if this sounds familiar. What other killer found out that their daddy was not their actual biological dad?
Oh, Ted Bundy?
Mom, yes, Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy.
His mom had an affair and got pregnant with Paul during this affair. So somehow Paul found this out. Probably daddy got drunk and told.
Mm-hmm.
And so Paul was pissed at the mom and hated her and therefore hated women after that.
Oh.
Which I'd have been like, great, I'm not from this horrible child molester.
Yeah.
I would be pretty happy.
Maybe he just didn't think that.
He
just went straight to.
He just thought my mom's a dirt leg, and so I hate all women.
But wouldn't he hate his dad too? Just for not telling him?
I mean, his dad did tell him.
I mean, yeah, but
at 16.
Yeah.
He honored his dad for
they
letting him call him dad
together
for all these years.
They should have told him together. Anyways, that's not the point of the story.
Yeah, but that's kind of triggered his reason for hating women. Now, after high school, Paul started working in sales, and he was a very good salesman. Usually these guys are really good with their mouth.
Yeah, pretty charming.
He would use his sales techniques and his charmingness to pick up women outside of work.
Where'd he work? At the Home Depot? Okay.
In sales.
I'm going to Home Depot.
I don't know what he sold. But he, when he would get them home, he liked rough sex. And he kind of liked to beat them and slap them around and talk bad to them. So it's pretty psychotic. And he never really would get laid because he was real too rough with it.
Just beating them up. And they're like, okay.
There's no way. Mm-mm. No way. So 1987, Paul and Karla meet. And I think Karla's like on this work trip. And they're at a hotel restaurant. And they meet. And they have an instant connection.
Instant connection.
Lust at first sight. And about 5 seconds later, they were doing the dirty in the room.
And she liked it.
She was
like,
rough.
Slap me harder.
This was a match made in hell.
Oh, no.
It was.
Not heaven?
Not heaven at all.
No, ma'am. Not even close.
Karla's family. So they begin dating and they go hard real quick.
They do go hard real quick. You're right.
Literally. So Karla's family actually loves Paul because he's charming and he's good looking. He's got a good job and he's well dressed.
Yeah, don't mind the bruises,
and he's
the
smart.
swelling.
And he lived 2 hours away in Scarborough. So he would drive and come visit her like a gentleman all the time.
Wow.
And, he does become a little verbally abusive to Karla, but she's head over heels for him. And she's like, I'm just going to look over that.
Did we say how old they were?
They are teens.
Or are they around the same age? I couldn't remember if he was like.
She's born in 70 and he's born in 64. So that's 6 years older. Okay. Now they become so in love that in 89, he actually proposes to her on Christmas Eve at Niagara Falls.
Oh,
it was like an ideal proposal.
Wow.
And she was very excited to be engaged with him. And she says, yes, so now they're planning a wedding.
Wow.
Now.
Podcast over, the end.
The end, only if. In Scarborough, there are a series of rapes happening.
Oh.
The newspaper has reported about 24 rapes. And these rapes were targeting young teenage girls. They were targeted while they were outside, close to home. They were being attacked from behind. They were being beat. Their lives were being threatened, and their family was being threatened if they screamed or if they did anything while they were being raped, okay?
Okay.
So, for example, on May 4th, 1987, this rapist raped a 21-year-old in her parents' front yard. Like, she was walking to her front door, sneak attack, raped her, hand over her mouth. She couldn't do a thing. May 14th, 10 days later, a 19-year-old in her own backyard, sneak attack, couldn't do a thing. That September, he broke into a house, snuck into a 15-year-old girl's bedroom, jumped on her back, put her hand over her mouth, a knife to her face, bit her ear, but her mom heard him, came in, screamed, and he ran away. This happened 24 times over a couple of years.
Oh, my.
He would stalk, beat, rape, and threaten, and he was targeting virgins.
Ugh.
Write that down.
Ew, okay.
So one of the victims remembered, had a great memory and remembered what her rapist looked like.
Uh-huh.
So they go to the police and they do a composite sketch. And this composite sketch was posted all over the news. Scarborough, Toronto, Ontario, all over Canada. And all these tips were coming in and they were like, oh, that looks like my mailman. Oh, that looks like the milkman. Oh, that looks like my neighbor. Right? But there was a common name that kept coming up. And what would you think the name is?
Was it Paul?
Oh, Paulie boy. Paul Bernardo.
Paul?
So the police they're like, man, we can't have any more rapes. We're going to question this Paul Bernardo because we have 4 out of 1,000 tips. And all, 4 at least are saying one common person. So we can't not rule it out.
Yeah.
So they questioned him. And Paul was like, oh, I heard about these rapes. He was so cooperative. I'll do anything to help you.
Of course.
He was like, do you need my hair,
do you
my
like
blood,
my teeth marks
my
from when
semen,
I bit the ear? Anything.
DNA? Do you take it all?
Skin cells?
Here's my underwear. Just take these.
Yeah.
He was so cooperative. And they were like, they actually liked him. And they didn't think that he would be capable. So they did take the DNA, but at this time, this is like 88-ish, 89-ish, there was one person in all of the area that did DNA testing. So
How backed up? They're so backed
there
up.
were thousands. So there wasn't going to be a rush on this DNA test at all.
I mean, it's just 24, 15-year-olds being raped.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, if it was 28 of them, maybe they would have moved it to the front of the line, but 24. So now back to their relationship, it is progressing and they're engaged. And Karla knows about Paul's extracurricular activities. And she's just like,
Wait, what are his extracurricular activities?
raping girls.
Okay.
Yeah. She co-signs on it.
She's
on board because it's her fault that she's not a virgin. If she was a virgin, he wouldn't have to do that. So she's just going to support him in his endeavors.
I mean, yeah, it's fair. You got to give it to her.
But Paul is actually becoming obsessed with somebody else in Karla's house. And it's not Karla. It is Karla's 15-year-old little sister, Tammy.
Oh, shit.
Now, Tammy's a virgin. Paul's obsessed with virgins. Obsessed with taking their virginity. And Karla just felt so bad that she couldn't be that virgin for him. So
she's pimping out her daughter.
So she decides to let Paul obsess over Tammy. So first they would start off and Karla would dress up in Tammy's pajamas, put her hair in pigtails, and they would role play while she played the role of Virgin Tammy. Okay. And they would videotape this. But then this wasn't enough because Karla wasn't really Tammy.
No, she's not.
So Karla was like, okay, I will break Tammy's blinds so that her blinds will not be able to go down. And when she changes at night, you'll be able to see her if you stand right here outside.
A great idea. Karla, you shouldn't have.
Devoted.
The mom of the year.
Girlfriend of the year.
Yeah.
Not a great sister, but girlfriend of the year. So Paul was like, bet. So Paul would stand outside Tammy's window when Tammy was changing, and he would masturbate. But you know what? He didn't have to really do it because Karla was out there doing it for him. Jerking him off under the tree while they are watching her sister undress.
Love this for them.
Cleanse your palate. Just take a drink.
Just go ahead.
But that wasn't enough. He wanted to be a little bit closer, so they would sneak into her room while she was sleeping, and he would jack off on her pillow.
Oh my gosh, that's so nice. And you left it there for her?
Maybe.
Of course you did.
He's
a gentleman.
But watching her undress isn't enough. Masturbating isn't enough because that virginity's still there, and it's there to be taken. And he feels like he should be the one to take it. So Karla's like, bet. So she gets a plan, and, she works at a veterinarian's office, and she's like, okay, I'm going to bring home some doggy Valium, some medicines that they give to the dogs that basically knock them out. She cooked her sister a big pot of spaghetti, and she puts the drugs in Tammy's plate of spaghetti and mix it in really, really good. And it works because Tammy passes out. Little sister passes out in the basement, and Paul is over. So Paul begins to mess with her and attempt to sexually assault her. What do you think Karla's doing?
First, I thought you were going to say that he was going to medicate the dogs and do the dogs. And so I'm relieved at that.
Oh, are you?
Oh, shoot.
So you're relieved that it's just Tammy.
Well, kind of. Okay, so then what is Karla doing? Well, she's obviously either watching it, videoing it,
videotaping it.
Yeah.
But, Valium, I guess, isn't very strong. So Tammy kind of wakes up and she doesn't know what's going on. And he doesn't get to take her virginity. And they just kind of play it off, and they're like, wow, yeah, you must be real tired.
Wow, yeah.
It's a hard day at school. So he wasn't able to complete his mission, and he was really devastated about that. So Karla was like, you know what? I'll give him a great Christmas present. So Christmas Eve, the anniversary of when he proposed the year before, she wants to give him a present, and that present is Tammy. So for Christmas Eve,
Tammy, I'm gonna need you to figure this out before now. Like,
what's so sad is, like, imagine being the younger sister and your older sister, cool older sister, and her good-looking, cool boyfriend are over, and they just want to hang out with you all the time. Like, Tammy just thinks it's great that
and
her
maybe
big
they
sister
could have been like, I don't know, ask her. You don't just have to drug her.
Don't ask her either.
Well, then that way she knows to get out. I don't know.
Yeah. So Karla is like, I'm going to give him Tammy for Christmas. So this time they have a Christmas dinner. It's Christmas Eve tradition. They open presents. They have probably tamales like we do, or fish like y'all do, and probably have a scavenger hunt for Christmas presents. Then when everybody goes home, gets ready to go to bed, they say, Tammy, come down to the basement with us and let's drink some eggnog.
Of course.
Full of alcohol. So Tammy thinks it's so cool. She gets to have some alcohol with her older sister and her older sister's boyfriend. But in this alcohol, and this eggnog it's laced with halothane.
Oh, halothane?
Halothane?
No, halothane.
Which is an animal tranquilizer drug. She got it from work. And Tammy falls unconscious pretty quick. It's probably like ketamine. They Matthew Perry'd her.
Basically ketamine.
She falls unconscious pretty quick.
Karla is the ketamine queen.
She's a ketamine queen. And he begins to rape her while Karla videotapes. And he gets to go all the way this time.
Oh, my God.
And she does kind of wake up a little bit, like kind of groggy, but they have a little cloth over here that is soaked with that halothane, and they just put it over her mouth and hold it until she passes back out again. So they would do that over and over each time. 4 hours. Not only did he rape her, he would get on the camera while he videoed Karla sexually assaulting her own sister.
This is really the worst.
Take a deep breath. Say your Hail Marys.
It's like, just, I don't know what is that?
What is that? So,
because it's a different level. I mean, like, yeah, it's all.
It's horrible when it's a stranger. It is another level when it's your baby sister. And you're videotaping it and participating in it. Like, no. So, over and over and over. Now, Tammy begins to vomit. Little sister begins to vomit. And she's aspirating, so she is choking on her own vomit because she's still not conscious. And starts to act like she's going to stop breathing. So they put her clothes on real quick, and they take her back to her bedroom. And then they start panicking, like, something's wrong. Mom, Dad, call the police, call the ambulance. And the ambulance come, and they're like, she drank too much eggnog, we think, and she's young. We shouldn't have let her. Oh, my goodness, she drank too much eggnog. Meanwhile, there's this burn all around her mouth, like this chemical burn from the rag.
And she's probably bleeding.
Oh, down there. Okay, so she's at the hospital. She's pronounced dead.
Oh, shit.
They do a tox screen. And what comes up is alcohol, but they're only looking for like major drugs, like cocaine, heroin, or whatever. Alcohol comes up. It's not a deep tox screen to where they will find the animal drugs that they put in their system. The death is ruled an accident.
They didn't check anything else?
Nothing. Because Paul and Karla are so sweet and innocent and believable that why would you ever question these beautiful blonde-head Ken and Barbie looking people?
I know.
Why would you ever question them? Now, the family is devastated.
And they're just saying she had too much eggnog.
It was just a fluke, and she must have had alcohol poisoning.
Oh my God.
Ken and Barbie, Paul and Karla, they're not really devastated at all. And actually,
They want to kind of enjoyed it.
Ignites a little fire in them.
Mm-hmm.
So now they begin recording what they call their fireside conversations, fireside chats, recording on video. So they would mess around and talk dirty on video, and they would reminisce about the night that they had with Tammy.
They were basically just having a conversation and videotaping themselves having a conversation.
And like messing around.
Yeah. So like it's
foreplay
OnlyFans without with no fans.
Oh, it becomes a sex tape.
Okay. Good.
So they're about to be Kim and Ray J.
Okay, good.
So they talk about how hot it was, like their night with Tammy. And in this video, Karla has this red rose, and she's like rubbing it all over his body, like all over his body parts. And she's like, this is the rose that I'm going to take to Tammy's grave. And she does. Yes. Psycho. And she said that she wants to do it again for him, that she wants to have a night like that for him again, and that she wants to have 4 kids so that he can take their virginity like he took Tammy's.
What is...
And then she gives him a blowjob.
Oh, no, ma'am. And he... Okay,
Take
and
a drink.
He is even okay with this?
Oh, he is loving it. He is loving it.
Okay, so we're going there.
I feel like I'm going to have to like binge and purge after this.
I should have brought my, I don't know, holy water or something.
So these fireside conversations and screw sessions eventually progress into they're recording it in Tammy's room.
Oh my God.
And they videotape themselves. This sex tape happens on Tammy's bed. So after they kill their little sister, they're reliving it in her bed.
I love it. Good. You go. You do you. Wow. You are really living your best life. You are really trying to go to the next level. Like you're thinking of all the things.
So, yeah, Karla's parents are grieving way too much for this unexpected death of the baby sister. And so her and Paul decide to get their own place, and they're living in an area called in St. Catherine. And suddenly all the rapes stop in Scarborough and they begin in St. Catherine area.
Oh my gosh.
What a coincidence.
I wonder how that happened.
Now, before she worked at the vet clinic, Karla worked at a pet store. And she worked with a 15-year-old girl. We're going to call her Jane Doe because her name was never released.
Mm-hmm.
She contacts this girl out of the blue. She hadn't worked with her in a while. But, she wants to do this for Paul again. Yeah. So she contacts this girl and she's like, hey, how are you? You should come hang out. Let's have a girls' day. The little girl just thought, oh, cool, older,
beautiful
girl wants to hang out with me. Sure, they went shopping, they ate dinner, and they went back to Karla and Paul's house, and she fixed them some drinks, and she laced the drinks, and the girl passed out. Now, she called Paul up, and she says, I have a wedding gift for you.
Oh, my God.
So Paul comes over and he turns on the video camera and he records Karla sexually assaulting her first.
Lovely.
Then they switch roles and then it's Paul's turn.
And she's just passed out.
She's out.
I would think that being this good-looking couple, it wouldn't be that difficult
to get somebody to join
to
you?
Find, yes.
But rapists want the control.
Oh, so it's not
or
about...
Or else they would just be swingers.
I know, okay, it's not about that. He wants to... Okay, and she's just a fucking bitch. I don't know.
It has to be the control. And I don't know what it is for Karla. It has
That's
to
what I'm
be
saying.
the
She
control
has to just
too.
be like a complete psychopath. Because
Yeah. And in a way, she's a submissive to him because she just wants to make him happy, but she's enjoying
obviously
it
she's enjoying it too. Yeah.
just as much. So the next morning, Jane Doe wakes up and she's sick and she's throwing up.
Ugh.
But,
Oh.
she's so sweet and innocent. She's like, oh, my goodness, I've never drank before. I'm never going to drink that much again. She just thinks she drank so much alcohol that's why she passed out. That's why her body's sore. And that's why she's puking, not because she was drugged.
Okay.
And I've had a hangover like that before too. So maybe so.
Yeah, I mean, it's believable. But I'm still wondering if you don't, your vagina does not get sore from just drinking.
Yeah. Well, and maybe she wasn't a virgin because I would think you would feel, if you're a virgin, you're going to feel it and you're going to know you're going to be swollen, you're going to be bleeding the next day.
Yeah, like,
So
you're
maybe
going to know something is up.
Yeah. But also, she may have just not said anything. Like, thought it, not said anything.
Yeah.
A lot of victims end up doing that anyways. So now she was invited back about a year later to spend the night, and they drugged her again, but this time she stopped breathing. They were able to resuscitate her. They even called 911, and 911 was on the way, but they called him back and said, oh, never mind, she's breathing now, and 911 never showed up.
What?
And they were able to revive her, and we will never know her name. She later on found out that she was raped when these videotapes all come out, but she didn't know until years later when it kind of all came out.
Oh my gosh.
Now, it's still fresh because Sister Tammy has not been dead for very long, and the family is mourning, and they're devastated, and Karla's pissed because it's taken away from her wedding.
Well, I know. How rude is that?
They are actually want her to postpone the wedding, and she's like, never. And they actually are not going to spend much money on her wedding because they had to pay for a funeral, and Karla's so pissed about it that she wrote her best friend a letter.
Mm-hmm.
It's June 15th, 1991, and Paul is driving around looking for license plate because he does have a side gig, and it's cigarette smuggling. And so was cigarettes illegal at some point? Maybe they're illegal in Canada, but he was smuggling cigarettes over the border. And so he would steal people's license plates so that his license plates wouldn't be caught as he's smuggling these things over the border. But while out, he spotted a 14-year-old girl named Leslie McAfee.
Okay.
She just left a funeral for a friend. She was hanging out with some friends until it was pretty late, and they dropped her off at her house at 2 a.m.
Oh.
And when she walked to the front door, her front door was locked. But she told her friends, go ahead and go because I'm just going to go around back. It's fine. I can go in, right? So they left. She went to the side door, locked, back door, locked, back to the front. And when she got to the front, there was good old Paul there with some cigarettes and asking if she wants to smoke a cigarette. So she was like, well, I can't get in my house. Her parents had actually locked the door to teach her a lesson for missing her curfew because it's 2 a.m.
Oh, shit, they were home?
They were home. They locked her out because she missed her curfew. Can you imagine how they felt for the rest of their life? Because when she reached for a cigarette, old Paul grabbed her and threw her in the car and took her back to his house.
Oh, no.
They took her home to Karla, and they held her hostage for 24 hours in their basement. They raped her, they chained her, they tortured her, humiliated her while they took turns, and they videotaped it. But they would always stop the videotape right before they killed her.
Oh.
So nobody ever knows. Nobody really knows who did the killing. Was it Karla? Was it Paul? And later on, we'll see that they will pin it on each other. So everything's on video except for the killing. And And they said that they had to kill her because the blindfold slipped off. So,
oh my gosh. And I guess they like just strangle them typically.
So they strangled her, okay, and then left her in the basement. And this was Father's Day. So her family came over for Father's Day dinner. And they hosted a great Father's Day dinner with the dead body downstairs in the basement. And then after dinner, Paul took a circular saw, here's the blood, and dismembered her body piece by piece, put it in cement, and dumped it in the lake.
Oh, he really upgraded there. You skipped a few steps, bro. Like, I'm gonna need you to let's just get a knife first and do a stabby stab. Yeah. No, you're gonna go all out. You're chopping up and you're putting it in cement and you're throwing it in the. Oh, that's gotta be really heavy.
Yes. Yeah.
So, okay.
Not her. Remember, she's in pieces, so you got little bitty pieces of concrete that you're like dumping, but they're dumping it like around this lake that's out there. And then 2 weeks after this murder, they have their dream wedding at Niagara Falls.
Oh my gosh.
Ken and Barbie.
Wow, it's such a romantic.
Can you
story
imagine
so
like
far.
how many?
Like, what are you gonna do? Like, what?
How many
Pre-marriage was amazing. Like, how are you gonna top that? Like, how?
Oh, they have a honeymoon. So on the day of their wedding, like when they are like saying I do and having their first dance as a married couple, some local fishermen find Leslie's remains at the lake.
In the
cement
pieces?
Yes.
Wow.
It's April 19th, and Paul and Karla, for their honeymoon, decide to look for another girl.
Yeah. Why would they not?
Yeah. And they decide to park in a church parking lot and wait.
We're going to go for the most of the most innocent people.
And they see 15-year-old Kristen French. She was walking home from school. Karla held out a map and asked Kristen for directions. So Karla, the woman is asking, and this is
the whole thing that I was telling friends about, and I was like, I know that there was this couple, but they used a baby to like lure the person to the car, but it was in this situation, it's basically she's the one doing the luring. She's the innocent looking.
Yeah. I don't know who used a baby. I remember you asking me that, but I don't know. Who used a baby.
I don't know. I could have just watched a show about it.
Yeah. I mean, there was an old urban legend that if you hear a baby crying, like on your front step, you're not supposed to go out there because somebody is trying to get you to go out on your front door, and then that's when they'll ambush you.
So you just call.
You just call the police and say, "Hey, I don't carry kids. I don't take care of kids. Y'all better come get this baby." So this is Kristen French, and Karla was asking her for directions. And while Paul came behind her, grabbed her, threw her in the car. This is broad daylight. Church folks was outside. They saw it happen. Nobody came to help. Nobody called 911 until parents were like, "Hey, Kristen didn't come home. She's a great kid." And then one of the witnesses was like, "Oh, yeah, I did see a couple in a beige Camaro take her at the church." Except for this witness was totally wrong because it was actually a gold Nissan. So all over the news, you got a beige Camaro. Be on the lookout, Bolo.
That's what I would say. I'd be like, I don't know, it's like beige, like a Camaro.
Yes, totally wrong. Bolo for a beige Camaro, and it's actually a gold Nissan. So they feel like, oh, we are free selling. Like, nobody's looking for us.
Oh, my.
They held Kristen captive in the basement for 3 days. So she stayed a lot longer than the other one.
This is escalating.
Now, they said that Paul really liked Kristen. She was a virgin, and as was Leslie, but like he would make Kristen tell him she loved him. And he recorded music on the side. He would like play her his music. And they think that, what's the girl's name? Karla actually got jealous.
My whole face this episode is just like,
I know.
second disgust.
Yes. Now, they would even make Kristen watch her parents on TV, on the news, pleading for her safe return, just to kind of torture her. But of course, they raped and took turns and did all the stuff that they did, recorded everything but the killing. But they strangled her, and then they just dumped her body. Okay, they strangled her, killed her, left her downstairs. Then they went and showered, and they got dressed because they had family coming over for Easter dinner.
Oh my gosh, they're doing this for all the holidays.
All the holidays.
What the hell?
So they came home. When they got back from dinner, they washed her body, cut her hair off, and dumped her naked body near the lake where Leslie's body was. And so now the police are calling these the schoolgirl murders.
Okay.
Now, okay, we're almost there. I know this is horrible. We're almost there. Paul's violence escalates at home. And so now he's starting to beat Karla, probably because she's not a virgin.
Yeah.
Karla,
Well,
so bad that on January 6, 1993, Karla had to be admitted to the hospital. He beat her bloody with a flashlight. Her eyes were black. And she was unrecognizable. So her family came up there and they were like, we don't love him anymore. Just leave him. He's horrible. He's violent. Leave him. So she does. And she moves back home to her house that she killed her sister in with her parents. Now, also, after police take this report of this domestic violence, they're like, we remember Paul. And he does look like the sketch in Scarborough. And now he's showing us that he really is violent. That's not the same Paul that we interviewed that was very willing. So now they're kind of like thinking, where's that DNA from 14 years ago? It's been like, what is 89 plus 93? It's been that many years.
Like
4 years. And so they decide to put him under surveillance. And they tap his phone.
Ooh, okay.
And they begin questioning Karla. And they're like, Karla, we know about these rapes. But now, since y'all have been here, since he has been here, now we got these schoolgirl murders. And so Karla bites her tongue and she doesn't say a thing, but she confesses to her uncle. And then they go back and they get a lawyer and they confess. Okay? But she is the victim, Caroline. She's like, but he beat me. He made me do it. He's a dominant. I'm the sub. It's Christian Grey, and I'm Anna, whatever her name is.
Anna Blue.
What's her name? Anastasia.
Beaverhausen? No.
From 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
He made me do it. She was playing the innocent, submissive type.
Yeah, she had no
And
choice.
she was like, I'll tell you everything, but I'm so scared. I'm going to need a deal.
I'm going to need a deal.
I'm going to need a deal. Actually, I'm going to need immunity.
I'm going to actually need a 15-year-old and a couple of other things.
Bring me a video camera and immunity.
I definitely need a video camera.
She told them everything. But they didn't agree to immunity because they're like, no. Because after you tell them everything, they're like, well, you had your hand in on it. But they did agree to a lesser time. So they agreed that she would get a 10-year sentence for Kristen and for Leslie. And she even told him a little bit about Tammy. And so they gave her a bonus 2 years for Tammy. Even though they didn't really say Tammy's isn't a murder. It's an accidental. So they can't really say that's murder.
Okay.
On the whatever.
Yeah.
So But you'll be eligible for parole after 3 years.
Oh, good.
So there's the silver
That's
lining,
good.
Carla.
Great. They'll never grant it.
So February 17th, 1993, Paul was arrested. They got a warrant for the home, and they found a journal in which he kept each crime that he commit, word for word, lots of detail by detail, but also what him and Karla did. So this also incriminated Karla. They found some kind of deviant sex book, a hunting knife, handcuffs, and they found the videotape of Jane Doe, the pet store girl. That's when Jane Doe found out she was actually raped.
Oh, shit.
But they did not find any other tapes. They were hidden.
Oh.
They think that Karla hid them. They were hidden. They had no idea where they were. So Karla goes under a psych eval. And she wrote a letter to her parents, and she was confessing because she was like, I'm so sorry what happened to Tammy, but Paul made me do it. I did not know he was the guy, that he was this guy. He threatened me. He made me do it. I tried so hard to save her life, and I wish it was me and not her. Like, she wrote this long letter to her family. Later on, she was given another psych eval that said she was the actual sociopath and that she purposely killed her sister because she was a threat to her and Paul's relationship. And that is why she would dress up as Tammy afterwards.
Yep, there you go. Ding, ding.
Mm-hmm. So, in May 6, 1993, Paul's lawyer found all of the other tapes, okay? But he sat on them.
Oh, no, you didn't.
And he did not go to trial until 1995.
Why would...
So if he would have probably brought them in 93, they could have done something about Karla's deal, I would think. But he did not even bring them up until September 1995 when Paul went to trial. And the jury gets to see who Karla actually is. And that she was not forced, that she actually had a very good time doing this. So now this deal becomes the deal with the devil. And so the whole court system, the lawyers, the DA, everybody, they are being ridiculed because you made a deal with the devil. And it's too late. You can't go back. You can't renege on these deals. They are just in stone. So Karla gets 12 years or 10 years for each, but it's 12 years, but they're concurrently. So it's really 12 years total. And she gets probation after 3 years. Paul's trial lasted for 4 months, in which Karla testified for 17 days against Paul.
Holy crap, that is a long trial.
4 months. He was guilty for first 2 counts of first-degree murder, forcible confinement, rape, indignity to a human body. He got life in prison, which in Canada is equivalent to 20 years. So the life does not mean life in Canada. It means 20 years and is eligible for parole. But he's been labeled as a dangerous offender and will probably never get paroled because of how dangerous he is. So he's been denied parole a bunch of times.
But he only has 20 years.
Only has 20 years.
So, and when was the...
This was in 93. And you know what? I didn't even see where it is. So in 2000, he did an appeal and he was denied. And in 2006, he confessed to 10 additional rapes. So not only the 24 and the 2 and Tammy, 10 additional rapes. Karla served her full 12 years and was never officially charged with her sister's death. What? And she wasn't even in a real prison. She was in a rehab type women's facility that was like a gym, like a nice little facility where she got amenities, basically. So people were pissed at that.
Oh, gosh.
She was released July 4th, 2005. She tried to change her name, but they wouldn't let her. A year later, she got married to her lawyer's brother and had a baby boy.
What?
She now has 3 kids, is a stay-at-home PTA mom, and is living in Quebec.
Ma'am.
She volunteers at her kids' school until the parents find out who she is. They make petitions and they get her banned. There's an actual Facebook group dedicated to harassing Karla Homulka. They follow her wherever she goes, and when she steps foot into school, they throw a fit. And that is the story.
I'm dead with that. Like, that is, I did not know that.
That is the story of the Ken
She's
and
going
Barbie
around
killers.
being around all these kids and everything. And
She's like, I
who's
did my
married to
time.
her? God.
I did my time, y'all.
Theory Bordelli.
Yeah, Theory Bordalis. Theory Bordalis is who she married. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Cramp. Yeah, there's the story.
Okay.
I guess he's still in prison. No, did he die? I can't remember if he died. I don't know why I didn't look at that. I usually...
No, she got hers. Chocolate. Mm-hmm. Theory Bordalis is a black
He's
man.
black guy?
Yep.
Oh, shit. I should have
Yep.
known with the name Theory.
I know. Oh, my gosh. No, I was going to see...
Paul.
What a good story, because that is just a lot. I cannot believe she's like out, married, all the things. It doesn't say.
Indeterminate sentence. Oh, so it looks like he's not getting out. It says he has a life sentence. Yeah. So
Bro,
he's not getting out.
They did the same thing. Why is she's like over here with this whole brand new second life?
Well, they were saying that because they didn't have any videotapes at first. They didn't know there was tapes, and she was going to tell them there's tapes. So the only way to get Paul was through her confessing everything. So they needed her to make this deal, or they needed her to get Paul.
I know.
So they needed to make a deal. And by the time they found out she was the devil, it was too late.
I cannot believe that she has 3 kids after all
3
that.
kids. Oh, they're probably cute little mixed kids. Those poor kids. And they're probably being tortured, and it's not even their fault. Like, all of Canada is probably torturing them because of who their mama is.
Well, she needs to stop being in the public. She just needs to just take her kid to school, pick the kid up, go meet the teacher, just
Stop trying to volunteer.
color your hair, cut it, get some Botox.
She looks horrible now. She looks horrible.
She should, because she's the devil, and I hope
She is the devil.
something's gonna happen to her that's gonna be very bad, and I can't wait.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's Ken and Barbie.
Yo, yay!
All right. Hope you enjoyed it. And I guess you get to hear from me next week one more time. I don't know where we're going. We might be in Texas.
Okay.
Don't forget to,
Stay aware
and don't forget to stay alive.
and to always be DTF.
And go rate us, review us, and subscribe to us. Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production. Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.